I chose a simple life, and for some reason, that bothers people more than anything I've ever done. I'm 89 years old, and I don't live the way the world told me I should. I don't chase more. I don't try to impress anyone. I don't measure myself the way people expect. And the strange thing is, that makes people uncomfortable, not because I've done something wrong, but because I've stopped doing what everyone else is still trying to do. I stepped out of the race. And when you step out, people don't know what to do with you because you no longer fit into the system they understand. You start to notice it over time, not always in obvious ways. Sometimes it's subtle. A look, a pause in conversation, a question that isn't really a question. You could have done more. You had potential. You were capable of so much. And what they really mean is you didn't become what we expected you to become. Then there are the ones who say it more directly. You settled. You gave up. You didn't try hard enough. And maybe if I were younger, those words would have cut deep. Because I used to believe the same thing, that a simple life was something you fell into when you couldn't achieve something bigger. That simplicity was what remained after failure. But I've lived long enough now to know that's not true. We are raised inside a story, a very specific one, that your life has to grow outward, bigger, louder, more visible. More money, more recognition, more proof that you matter. And if you don't want those things, people assume one of two things. Either you couldn't get them, or you're afraid to try. But almost no one considers a third possibility, that maybe you simply don't want them, that maybe you've seen enough to realize they're not what they appear to be. Ecclesiastes says, better is a handful of quietness than 2 hands full of toil and chasing after the wind. When I was younger, I thought that sounded like giving up. Now I understand it's describing freedom, because there is a kind of life that looks full on the outside, but is empty where it matters most. I lived that life. I ran like everyone else, worked hard, tried to build something that would prove my worth, measured my life against people I didn't even know, felt behind, even when I was doing fine. Because in that world, enough doesn't exist. There is always someone ahead of you, always someone with more, and that comparison quietly steals your peace. The strangest part about that race is that nobody questions it. Everyone is running, but no one can tell you exactly why, and the finish line keeps moving. You think you're getting close, and then suddenly it's further away again, and before you realize it, your life starts to feel like something you're chasing instead of something you're living. And that's a dangerous place to be, because time doesn't slow down. while you're trying to catch up. There came a moment when I got tired, not the kind of tired sleep fixes, the kind that settles deeper, the kind that makes you question everything, tired of trying to become something, tired of comparing, tired of feeling like I was always one step behind no matter how far I went. And for the first time, I stopped long enough to ask myself something honest. What if this isn't the right path? What if I've been chasing something that was never meant to satisfy me? And then came a question that changed everything. What if I just stopped? Not forever, not out of defeat, but long enough to see clearly. And when I did, I realized something I wish I had understood much earlier. I didn't need more, I needed less. So I chose a different way, a simpler one. And no, it didn't look impressive. It didn't make anyone admire me. It didn't give me something to show off. But it gave me something I had been missing for years: space, to think, to feel, to be present. I wake up now without rushing. I sit in silence without needing noise to fill it. I notice things I used to ignore. A conversation that actually matters. A moment that doesn't feel like it's slipping away. And for the first time in my life, I feel like I'm actually here, not distracted, not divided, not constantly reaching for something else, just present. And that presence feels richer than anything I ever chased. So why does this bother people? I've asked myself that many times. And I think I understand now, because when you step out of the race, you become a mirror. You reflect something back to others that they don't want to see. You show them that another way is possible. And that's uncomfortable, because if they stopped, even for a moment, they might have to face a difficult truth that they've been chasing something they don't even truly want. Or worse, something that will never satisfy them. And that realization is not easy to sit with. So instead, it's easier to judge, to dismiss, to say, he gave up. He didn't make it. Because if that's true, then they don't have to question their own path. But deep down, I think many of them know they just don't know how to stop. There is something deeper than all of this, something I didn't understand when I was younger. Jesus said, whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. That sounds backwards. Until you live long enough to see what happens. When you try to hold on to everything, you become restless, anxious, never satisfied, because the life you're trying to build was never meant to carry that weight. But when you let go of the need to prove yourself, of the pressure to become something, of the constant comparison, something changes. You don't become less. You become free. And that kind of freedom doesn't come from success. It comes from surrender. I don't need to prove anything anymore. And that might not sound like much, but it changes everything. Because when you don't need approval, you stop living for it. When you don't need more, you stop chasing it. When you know who you are, you stop comparing yourself to others. And in that space, there is peace. Not because your life is perfect, but because you are no longer fighting yourself. And I'll tell you something honestly, Ian, after all these years, that peace is worth more than anything I ever tried to achieve. So yes, they can call me a failure. That doesn't bother me anymore, because I see something now that I couldn't see before. I was never meant to win their game, and neither are you. You were meant to live, to experience this life fully, not as a performance, but as something real, to love people, to be present, to walk through your days without constantly trying to become someone else. And if you're still running, still chasing something that always feels just out of reach, maybe it's time to stop for a moment and ask yourself, is this really the life I want? Or is it just the life I was told to want? Because one day you're going to look back, and in that moment, you won't care about what impressed people. You'll care about what was real. So don't wait until then. Don't spend your life chasing something that disappears the moment you reach it. Slow down, step out, and start living before it's too late.